So hello! On this channel we talk about independent spirituality and folk magic for free spirits. My name is Aster, and in today's video I am wearing nothing on my face but a smile. Which goes perfectly with today's theme, in my opinion, which is real-life, low-energy witchcraft practices. Like, how do you keep a witchcraft practice when you have many things to tackle? You study, you go to work, maybe you have children, as adults, we have a lot to take care of and a lot to handle, a lot to manage. It's not easy to have the time and the energy to also tend to a spiritual practice. I know that because me too, I am a worker. I have a full-time job. I don't live with my parents anymore, so that means that I have to cook and clean for myself, and it's just a lot to do. And if you're not some privileged person who has someone to cook and clean for you, and many other privileges, I'm guessing that your reality is probably very similar to mine, and I just wanted to share some tips and tricks for making a spiritual practice doable and practical for a person who has a real life routine. People can feel overwhelmed for several different reasons, but what I'm trying to convey with today's video is like my own point of view and what the things that I do for my own practice as an immigrant who has a full-time job, because I am guessing that my reality is not the same as many other creators on the community, because many of them, they are able to live from what they earn on the internet. It's not my case yet. We hope someday. And some others, they have different backgrounds, they have a structure, family support behind them, things that we don't see through the camera because they don't talk about their personal life. But sometimes we see people online with all those intricate and elaborate spiritual practices, but we don't see what kind of life they lead, what kind of reality that they live, and we might think that we are less than because we are not able to perform things as they do. But what we don't know is that we don't have the same reality as they do, you see? So I hope that sharing my own perspective as somebody who is living in another country and who has a job, someone who works 5 days of the week, I think that many people can relate to that, and I hope that my tips can be helpful and useful for others out there. I believe, and my channel as a whole is a result of that belief. I believe that hearing different narratives is fundamental, and we don't get to hear a lot from immigrants or women of color, not only on this community but on the internet in general. So it is important to bring different realities and different voices to the table, to the discussion, so that's the point of today's video. And in this video I am sharing how I try to see things in order to keep a spiritual practice even when I am feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and burnt out, because I also run a YouTube channel and I have an online store. More about that in a second. Now let's get into the details of today's theme. Wait a minute. Before we start, let's take a minute to hear a word from today's sponsor, which is myself. Did you know that I have opened a store? Yeah, that's right. Over there you can find all my ebooks that contain some juicy bits of occult knowledge that I share, and you don't want to miss out on that. And also private readings that combine tarot and Lenormand cards, as you already know them, with some extra spice of Afro-Brazilian knowledge. But the best part is that the products on the store start at only $3. Oh, and by the the way, if you didn't know, I'm also on Patreon. And over there, I share extra exclusive content like spell tutorials, behind the scenes of my life, exclusive Patreon videos, unfiltered book reviews, weekly readings, and much, much more for only 1 cup of coffee per month. So if you like what I do on the internet and would like to support my work somehow, check out the links in the description to take a look at everything that I offer. Now, with that being said, let's get back to the video. This video is not gonna be very long because it is actually simpler than it might seem. Because yeah, that's the whole point, making it simple and doable and easy to introduce in someone's routine, which is like a routine that is already packed with activities and many things that you need to do. So first things first, a daily practice is not necessary. We hear a lot online all over the place. It is a very frequent topic, this thing about practicing every day, and it is so not necessary. I honestly don't know where people get this idea from, that in order to be a practitioner, to be a witch, whatever, you need to do stuff every day, and that's not true, okay? You don't. I think it's actually, I mean, there are little tiny things that I do every day that are definitely witchy, like for example, wearing charms, wearing amulets, wearing enchanted jewelry, wearing oils, blessed oils, intentional oils, witchcrafty oils. But that's stuff that I have left prepared beforehand, and it is ready to use. I can just put it on me and I'm ready to go. It's not something that I am building from scratch every day. So like putting on a piece of jewelry that has been already consecrated and blessed to a certain intention, it just takes a second, okay? Putting on an oil, it takes a second. So those things, they are definitely part of my practice and I do them every day. But what I'm trying to say with you don't need to practice every day, you don't need to do stuff every day, is about rituals and spells and things that you have to sit down and put like a couple of hours of your day and your energy into it. That kind of thing you don't need to be doing every day. So you can do small things, small gestures, like, I don't know, the first day of the month, blowing cinnamon into the house, wearing consecrated jewelry, wearing sigils, wearing oils. Yeah, you can do those things every day, but you're not gonna craft a whole new oil every day. You see what I'm trying to say? So the first thing to keep in mind if you are a very busy person and you are on the verge of burnout is that you don't need to be practicing every day. You don't need to be doing grandiose, complicated things every day in order to keep your spiritual practice alive. It would actually be counterproductive if you try to be doing those things every day, because you are already drained of time and energy, and adding that on like spiritual practices on top of everything that you are already doing will not help you with anything, much on the contrary, okay? It will leave you even more drained and without energy. So don't try to do big things every day because it's not gonna help you. You might even get negative results out of it because your energy is not right, your mind is maybe somewhere else, and you're not gonna be focused and concentrated enough. So yeah, just drop it. Don't try to be doing grandiose things every day, okay? And with that being said, I think it is kind of related to the next thing on the list, which is seeing witchcraft, your witchcraft practice, as a chore, as something that you have to tick off in your to-do list. That is a very counterproductive way of looking at your spiritual practice, because a spiritual practice is not meant for being a chore, for being something that you should be like keeping track of like that. It's not like sweeping the floors and cleaning the bathroom and doing the dishes and the laundry. It's not to be seen like that as something so mechanical and so mundane. You see what I mean? So if you are trying to practice every day, chances are that you are going to put your spiritual practice, your witchcraft practice, as some kind of chore that you force yourself to do every day. And that's not the right way to go. go about it whatsoever, because also it is going to put some negative pressure on you. You will feel forced to do certain things when you don't really have the energy, you don't really feel like it, and you're just gonna force yourself when you would rather just go to bed 1 or 2 hours earlier. So don't try to force it. Don't see it as something you must do, as though it's a chore, like one thing else, one more thing for you to take care of before you can finally go to bed. No, don't do that, because it's then gonna put kind of a negative view on you about your own practice, and you don't want to feel negative about something that is meant to bring positive effects into your life, right? Doesn't it make sense? I think it does. The next thing is, don't try to do everything. How can I explain this? Let's say that you connect with spirits of the dead, you connect with spirits of plants. I mean, you were on vacation, all right, for 15 days, for 30 days. Even during your vacation time, you were able to do many things that you're interested in when it comes to your spiritual practice. Connecting with spirits of the dead, connecting with spirits of plants, going foraging in the woods nearby, a lot of hiking in order to connect with the local spirits and everything. And you're also very much interested in divination, and you are trying to master a new kind of divination system. Let's say you are learning the runes and you are also like giving a try to some spell casting through cooking, and also meditation is something that you're trying to improve and everything. You see how many different things I have just brought together in this example. If you try to be doing all those different things, even if they are interesting to you and then they are useful and everything, I know, but you cannot expect to be able to embrace everything if you are overworked, overwhelmed with little time and little energy. You can't do everything. You cannot do everything, okay? So don't try to like hug the entire world within within your grasp, because you will not be able to do that. You will go through all of those different aspects of practicing poorly. You will not be able to go in the depth that you would like to, and the outcome is not going to be that beneficial. It's not going to be that useful for you because you were not 100% there. You see what I'm trying to say? Often in life, less is more. So don't try to do everything just because you're interested in it. Which brings us to the next tip, which is to focus on what matters the most to you. Try to think about, I would say, a maximum of 3, maybe 4, absolute maximum 5, but I would go with 3 things that are important to you in your practice, that are the priority of your practice, and stick with them. Do them once a week. Take the time during your day off or whatever. Once a week, you're gonna dedicate some time to that. You see? Because then you will actually have the time and the amount of energy to tackle that one thing at a time. Let's say it's ancestor work. Then in the one day of the week that you set aside to do that, you will be 100% present. You will be able to do it at your best, even if you are tired, and you will be able to be 100% present and put the right energy into the thing, because it's the only thing that you're gonna be doing that day. You see, less is more. If you try to do those 4 things throughout the month, you will see that your witchcraft practice will take much less time and much less energy from you, while you will still be practicing it and finding the time to fit it into your daily routine without that taking such a big toll from you. You see? Now, I hope that these tips can be useful to you, and remember, practice makes perfect. So let's get witching. It's not about how fast you go, but it's about keeping on going, okay? Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna see you the next time. Bye bye.